I'm speaking to you today from the McCabe United Methodist Church near McMinnville, Oregon, one of our beautiful churches of the Oregon-Idaho Annual Conference. I came to preach at this church early in my journey here in this annual conference, and I was immediately struck by the beauty not only of the surroundings, but also the beauty of this church and the spirit of its people. I was immediately struck as I walked into this church by the pot-bellied stove, which is still used today to warm up the sanctuary during worship. More than the warmth of the pot-bellied stove, however, was the warmth of the welcome of this congregation. I'm here today on a beautiful fall afternoon to tell you some of the good news that I have to share about our Oregon-Idaho Annual Conference. It's especially significant that we come together today in this fall season, surrounded by reminders of the beauty of creation and of the season's change. I am always touched to remind myself that fall is a time of celebration of harvest. Seeds that have been planted months ago have been nurtured and watered and cared for over the long weeks and months, and they have grown and prospered, and so now we have the time of harvest when we are gathering the bounty of our field and our labor. Recently, I have heard a phrase creeping up in our vocabulary around the denomination, and that phrase is barren churches. The phrase is being used to describe churches that have no fruit, that bear no fruit of their labors and their ministry. For example, churches that do not list a new baptism or do not list converts to the faith are sometimes referred to as barren churches. I want you to know that I refuse to use this phrase, especially as I describe the churches of our annual conference, because as I have traveled around our annual conference, I've been blessed to know of so many wonderful ministries that are touching the lives of people within the walls of the church and outside into the community and into the world. I cannot imagine that we would ever call any of our churches in our annual conference barren churches. In fact, since many of our acts of fruitfulness are directly connected to our faith in Jesus Christ, I would rather think of our churches and our annual conference as being full of signs of faithful fruitfulness. Let me share with you today a couple of the examples of these signs of faithful fruitfulness that I see in our annual conference. The first has to do with our apportionment giving. This year I am pleased to let you know that we have surpassed our giving of last year in terms of the percentage that is being given of the apportioned askings of your local churches. At this time last year, I was able to share with you that we had received 61.63% of the amount that we had asked from our local churches. This year, I am pleased to inform you that we are now at 63% of the apportioned givings for this year. We are well above our 5-year average for apportionments in our Oregon-Idaho Annual Conference. I take this to be a sign of your faithfulness and your fruitfulness because you are a connectional church that believes in the good that can come about when we all participate in our apportionments. Now, I know that there are many churches who struggle mightily in order to send in your apportionment payments. I want you to know that all of your efforts are well appreciated, and I appreciate most of all your willingness to continue to do your very best so that we might one day reach 100% of our apportionments. This is one of the signs of our faithful fruitfulness. Another sign of our faithful fruitfulness in our annual conference is the response that has been overwhelming and heartwarming to the initiative to eliminate hunger in the Oregon-Idaho Annual Conference. Because of your good work, we were able to contribute in the last 2 annual conference sessions over $50,000 to the Idaho Food Bank and the Oregon Food Bank. This represents a tremendous gift from our United Methodist churches to the community around us. helping to feed the hungry in our midst. I continue to believe that this is a problem. The problem of hunger is a problem that can be eliminated. We have the resources. All we need to do is develop the will to respond. Your efforts in response to the initiative to eliminate hunger have been miraculous, and I give thanks for all of your good, hard work in that regard. District coordinators for the initiative are being named. Local church coordinators are being named also, and their work is being coordinated so that we can share ideas across our annual conference, so that new and creative approaches, programs that can reach out into the community are being developed. This is another sign of our faithful fruitfulness.